Hey, hey, hey!
Hello.
How are you today, Maddie?
Good, how are you?
Very well, very well. Lyndon?
Really good.
Yeah, cool. This week, so this segment is the questions and answers.
Yes,
You've got
from you
questions.
guys.
You've got questions. Hopefully, one of us on the couch here will be able to answer them. I'll have first crack, but if I don't do a very good job, then feel free to jump in.
Cool.
So, Maddie, Lyndon, here from Creative Cubes. Who's got the first question, guys?
Alright, so Twitter, Romi W.
Yep.
What do you know now that you wish you'd known then? Very broad, very open.
Relating to business? Or
Well, I mean, this is all
Yeah.
business Q&A, so let's go with that.
what do I know now that I wish I would have known then?
Yeah.
I think hindsight is always a great thing, right?
Yeah.
I don't really.
Well, it can be personal.
I think that, sticking to the business theme, I think that one of the biggest things is that launching a company it's a marathon, right? It's not a sprint, and so I think that it's super, super important to make sure that you're ready to go the distance. And I don't think you can neglect anything, right? I think everything's related, and everything, anything you do has an opposite and equal reaction to everything else that you're doing. So, for example, if you just binge eat, your head and the weight and the way you feel is just going to weigh on you. Whereas if you could do everything in moderation, get your exercise in, even though you don't feel like doing it this morning because it's raining. Make sure you're eating healthy, make sure you're snacking, make sure you're doing a whole bunch of really, really good things. Stay consistent with it, I think is where I would go with.
I didn't know if you're ready though. If you're ready for that marathon.
Maybe you're never ready.
Yeah.
I mean, this is really up to you and your mission, really.
Yeah.
So, I think that if you're 100% in love with what you're doing, then you're ready, right?
Yeah.
I think that if you're not so sure, or you're not 100% committed.
Totally there.
The other thing that I'll tell you this is, I guess, very similar to relationships. So if you have a business partner, if you and I went into a venture together and we're 50-50 partners, that's really cool, but the business isn't 50-50. The business is 100-100. You and I both need to work like crazy to make this thing a success, even though the net is I'm getting 50% of the success and you are getting the other 50%.
Yeah.
So I think that that's all part of, I think it's all part of the big picture. I'm really, I don't think that there's a silver bullet in an answer here. I think that if you can execute day in, day out, just the small things every single day, it adds up to the big picture. And I think that when I was a lot younger, not that I'm really old now, but when I was a lot younger, everything had to be done yesterday.
Okay.
And you get to the point where you're fatigued and exhausted. And so I remember when I sold Petlu in January of 2013, it was like someone pulled the plug out and I just collapsed. Not literally, but I was like, oh, I'm exhausted. Thank God. And I don't think that's healthy.
Yeah.
So I think looking back on it, I wish I would have just slowed down a little bit, had time to breathe, eat and live, but at the same time, be unconditionally committed to what we're setting out to do. So I hope that, who's that? Romi, if I haven't answered your question, hit me up on Twitter, and we can go from there.
Okay, we have a question from Sarah at Facebook DM.
Yep.
How important is IP?
Very interesting. Ben Kulugant on Instagram the other day, on LinkedIn the other day, talked about NDAs and sort of
I saw that post.
protecting your idea. And are we at a point in the world where sort of like NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, or confidentiality agreements have kind of like, they're not worth the paper they're written on. To a certain degree, I agree. I think that if I was to tell you something in confidence and you went out and did it, like, there's a whole defense around me having to protect myself, and that's just going to cost a bomb to achieve. But I think it's really good practice. And what I mean by that is, I think fundamentally, if I want to share something with you, I think a confidentiality agreement or non-disclosure agreement is like an absolute must. Even if it's like worth the paper that it's written on, but I just think that it's good professional structure and cadence to get into. In terms of intellectual property, like trademarks, patents, so on and so forth, and everything in between, I think it's super important. I think that they are going to be the difference between your multiple on an exit. For example, I own business A, it's a great product and it has a great brand, and the multiple of the EBITDA, the earnings before interest, tax and depreciation, may be 3, but if I've got IP, it might be worth 6, right? So I think IP is a very, very, very important component. It also stamps out your position. So I want to be a leader in this category, in this domain. You don't want everyone playing on that territory. I think it's great and healthy to have a couple of competitors. I'll tell you this, Petloo had a ton of patents. I think I bought Ross Clark like 6 houses from Davis Collis and Kay. But at the end of the day, when competitors came to the market, and when I was doing it on my own, it was a really hard sell. When competitors came to the marketplace and started copying my stuff and potentially infringing on patents, which I had to defend, which I defended successfully, thanks to a bunch of lawyers.
It sounds like it would have been a process.
It was a process, and it was heart-wrenching because here's your baby and you're being copied. But I think that the success of the company, when people started coming into the market, I was able to protect what I owned, and copycats came in, and then what happened was my success, or the success of my product, grew exponentially because, hey, I've got this product, and this product, and this product to compare to, and I pride myself on being the best in everything that I try and do. And so the IP protected what was unique to my product. And while you had a version of what we did and you had a version of what we did, at the end of the day, they couldn't come into this specific territory, which was ultimately the secret herbs and spices of what we were doing. And you guys, or the competitors, helped elevate what I was doing to a whole new level.
I've read that IP is considered most important for customers as well, because it does help to give that guaranteed product or service linked to your name.
Yep.
So it's almost worth carrying on with the IP just for that, so that your customers have a point of recognition.
Yeah, I agree with all that. I think that you want to own your domain. You want to be it's your idea. I think you need to protect it. Yeah, it costs a fortune. And by the way, when you get copied, it's going to cost you even more, and you're going to spend good money being earned from your product in the market to fight evil and defending it. So get ready for that. But at the end of the day, I think technology, software, that's hard to protect. That's really hard to protect. If you look like Snapchat and what they've built, and then all of a sudden Zuckerberg's just come in with Instagram stories. I mean, Facebook story. They've got nothing to stand on. Like Snapchat can't go and fight. Like they're not going to get into a patent. Now it's about, all right, who can consume much marketplace. Yeah. So I think software or apps or tech is a very unique space. That said, I've been a part of companies historically that have been successful with protecting patents there. I think at the end of the day, I think it's really important. I don't think you can glance over it.
What would you say to someone who's not sure where to start with it?
Find a lawyer. We, here at Creative Cubes, we've got incredible law firm in corporate advice. hashtag corporateadvice.co or corporateadvice.co. We also have Legal Eye.
Yeah.
Marianne, I think she specializes more in franchise. But if you don't know where to start, go seek professional advice and get to know what you need to know from the people that can help you. How are we going on time?
We've got time for one more.
One more?
All right. So Jenny L from LinkedIn.
Jenny from the block.
How important is it to put out fires?
Good. Mate, how are you? Great question. I think that you need to measure. So I assume what she means fires like when the shit hits the fan, sort of style. I think you need to measure how much damage that fire is doing, and then sort of rank it and weight it. Because some fires might actually be really good. Some fires might create resilience amongst teams. Like, if something's burning over here, but the team's still intact and we're still executing, let it burn until it becomes a really big problem, right? But if it's a really big problem, address it straight away and put it out. But I don't think that all fires need to be fought in order. I think some of them are okay to be burning in the background while things are going on. Just make sure that customers and your product and your reputation is intact. If a great example is someone doesn't like the user interface of your technology, or is confused by the user experience of your mobile application, but still gets to use it and will bitch and moan all day about this could be better, let it be. But if it's directly affecting transactions, address it straight away. Just make sure you're constantly gut checking and measuring where fires are. I think that if they're going to hurt the business or compound on the business rapidly, like stamp them out as quickly as possible. Yeah. But even here in the summer in Australia, we light fires to burn back bush. Yeah. So with a grain of salt, that was just off the cuff, but that was pretty cool. With a grain of salt,
Cool.
Measure the fire. Yeah, exactly. All right, so that's a wrap for this week's segment. Questions and answers. Tomorrow we have a superstar coming in. Wednesday, Josh will be back with This Week in Startups. Friday, I have got a superstar coming in. Her name is Anna Jordan, and she is a real hustler. And I mean that in the nicest possible way. Yeah. She is such an impressive individual that I was like, please come on the vlog. I want to tell you a story.
Who is she from?
Yeah, she came to an event, and she works in a large corporate right now, but she has a side hustle, and she has a couple of side hustles actually, and I'll let her tell the story, but she's into the shared economy, she's into Airbnb, and she's into a whole bunch of things that spill off of that, and I've just been blown away. So I begged her to come on, and she was supposed to come on last week. She couldn't make it because she has a full-time job and a commitment, but she's carved some time out for us on Friday, and she'll be on the show on Friday, and she's super exciting. I hope she lives up to the hype that I just created for her. But for now, Lyndon, thank you. Maddie,
You're welcome.
thank you. Maddie at Creative Cubes.
Fan mail.
Hey, I was actually thinking maybe we're going to introduce a segment called Mail Time.
Yeah.
Where people can send in their products or services or teas or hoodies or this or that, and we'll give them a review. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Maddy at CreativeCubes.co. She'll send you the address, and we'll do some product reviews and
really
give you the thumbs up or the thumbs down, or the thumbs down, but secretly we want to invest. And sort of try lower the valuation a little bit. But let's try Mail Time.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll start that, we'll build that up we'll keep campaigning for it. Yeah. And we'll start it for first, second week of Jan. We'll do Mail Time.
Sweet.
Here at Creative Cubes. All right, guys, thanks for coming.
that.